तेरी यादों का तेरी याद में निहा 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 तेरी
Well, hello there. Yes, behind me we got a good one. Hold on, before we start. What was it, Hesi? It's just me. I think Stella got busy. Whatever, Boogie is doing something, and I just, you know, what I'm saying, gonna sit and talk about the shit. Behind me though is a live ass playoff game that's going on between two of my homies. It's 16-21, and Penn State's trying to make a record of a comeback, and Tennessee's out here trying to do their thing. But I gotta show, you know what I'm saying. Tonight we're gonna go over a couple things. I'm gonna rehash some things from yesterday. Don't matter. Probably wouldn't watch it yesterday. Um, let's see. Let's go over the rundown real quick so we can all be on the same page. You know what I'm talking about? Shout out to Boogie out there because even though he's not here, you know what I'm saying, he's feeding me. He's feeding me from a distance. So we're gonna go over a little bit of college football. First, we're gonna go back over the bracket. We'll talk about a little bit about how feelings should be, how they might be, how people want them to be. Talk a little bit about the SEC and how much love they are getting. Cam Ward being pissed about how much love the SEC is getting. We got Jackson Arnold set to transfer from Oklahoma. I don't know if that hurts me or if I'm actually happy for the kid. I gotta ponder on that one because he went through a lot this year. Let me see. Briefly, National Signing Day, you know what I'm saying? That was upon us. So briefly cover a couple things that went on with that. Really, I just want to go over some of the teams that I noticed at the top. One team in general that I hate, but you know what I'm saying? They're doing a motherfucking thing. Then whatever else comes up with the college, you know what I'm saying? I think I'm gonna talk a little bit about how you may feel about BYU. Should they be in the mix? You know, Arizona State, teams like that. Again, I'm gonna show some more love to SMU. Then we're gonna go a little bit NFL. Damn, wish Sterling didn't get busy. We got the all hell Josh Allen. We're gonna talk briefly. I'm just gonna give a comment about him and you know what I'm saying, how I think he's going. Then we're gonna cover a little bit about you know what I'm saying, Trevor getting murdered on national TV because Jesus. I mean, we're gonna talk a little bit about Trevor getting the hit. Do people think it was dirty? Do people don't think it was dirty? What do I think about the hit? What they did going forward, was it right? Was it wrong? And then overall, you know, Al's response is saying, "I'll be your villain," and then I may just brag on the Mavericks if I have time. You know what I'm saying? All right, but that's what we're gonna get into, and that's what we're gonna get into, and that's what's gonna be about. Let me see, real quick. If you didn't know, you're under a rock. You just, you know what I'm saying. Well, I'm not gonna do you like that. I'm not gonna say that you was under a rock because obviously you watching this because you need something to know. You want to know. You want to see. You want to, you know what I'm saying. You want some information. So the college football bracket is not out yet. So I see like a lot of the commotion that goes on. I see that it does go on. Oh, and then you just got to pick. I see that it does go on, and I really let me see. Let me see how I want to put this. I really think people need to pay attention to a couple things when looking at the college football bracket predictions and what we think it's going to look like at the end of the day. Is that this is not the final piece of work. This isn't the last thing that it's going to be, and the committee does have a job to make people, you know, interested, to, you know, get, you know, ignite some discussion, debate, make some people mad. Cam Ward, make some people happy. Arizona State, you know, just so you want to keep that in mind, and you also want to keep this in mind too. If you're a committee that has something that's this important to take care of, right? So and as the committee, you're like, we have to pick the 12 best teams, right? Part of that is trying to see who the fans want, you know what I'm saying, want to see. So through this process, they put in Alabama in there. They are watching from afar, like, ooh, shit, people really not feeling that, or people are feeling it, or we're in the middle. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, or we're in the middle. Okay, so if we're in the middle, we're gonna put them in a position where they have to go to a freezing cold place. and play Notre Dame, even though we probably all believe, not all believe, but one Alabama's got a good team. It's not the team that they were. It's not the team that, what I'm saying, that they thought they had, but it's still a team that, as far as like having to play them in the playoffs, like how many chances do you get? How many chances do you need? Like what is it about this conference that makes people think that there are no real losses until you lose to one of them in like the semifinal or the championship game? Which leads me to one of my questions that I did have. And I'll ask y'all out there. Y'all can ask your friends, ask your people, get it going in your various comment sections of life. But like, at what point do we look at the SEC and stop giving them so much? And this is an Oklahoma fan. Stop giving them so much love as a conference that has all these like super like teams packed in it. And when do we look at it and say, you made a choice to go over there? You made a choice to want to play with all these cold teams. So at the end of the day, if only two of them can make it out, maybe three, that's just the consequences that you deal with playing in a conference like that. And I think that's more how we need to start looking at it. And I think that is how it's going to start being looked at. And plus, I think with NIL and everything else going on, I think there's going to be a lot more parity coming to college football. I'll say that. You can see by SMU being number 3. But so to answer that question, I do think they do get a little too much love. I realized when it was 4, the reasoning for it. Now, did I agree? No, but I did realize the reasoning for it is because you want to get the top 4 teams in. In this scenario, you have the top 4 or 5 teams in. So the other the other 7 teams, it's not really like it matters, but it's not gonna be like so crucial. Like you left them, like you left Alabama out of that. Like, nah, bro, they lost to Oklahoma. And frankly, if you lose to a team as bad as Oklahoma was this year and as banged up and as injured as Oklahoma, who has a 5-star quarterback that's leaving, you don't deserve to be in the playoff. Like, it's just some things are not deserved. And then this kind of takes to the point of what's the point of the regular season, which is why we love college football through the BCS years and even the college football playoff years, is because you're able to look and you're able to, okay, if you lose a game, probably really, really screwed. You're not going to get to do what you want to do moving forward, which is compete for a national championship. You're going to end up in some bowl somewhere playing for something that's not real. You know what I'm saying? It's just, maybe a little bit of bragging rights going to improve your rating going to the next year, but it doesn't really matter. Players ain't going to be there next year. Yada, 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 yada. So this is actually a position where you can reward the teams that actually won. Like, I think that college football is trying its best to delete the scenario of, do you remember that team that was such and such good but just couldn't make it happen? Like, because that's Alabama this year. Yes, they are that. They on paper, what we expect of them, yeah, they should have been a top 4 team, but they're not. But they're not. Like, just they're not. So what are we doing here? Like, that's what you have to look at the committee. Is like, what, even looking at that, putting them in at number 11 and putting them in at number 11 at that. Like, you can't even make them the last team to get in. Like, the last team, you scored 3 points versus a team that can't block for like more than half a second, who had no starting receivers. Like, so, and then, I mean, it did, yeah, well, it's one game. No, it's not just that, it's terrible. And then you had the game against Vanderbilt. And so, and you can nitpick a lot of teams, but the simple fact of the point of the matter is, this team does not deserve to be in the standing that it is with the type of season that it has. It should be up there getting ready to play in one of the premier, like the Gator Bowl or something. It should not be getting ready to try to get ready to play into the national championship. But this is why you put them at number 11 now. So you have people like me that are going to talk shit. And then you're going to get to see a final shuffle. Now, me, I will say this. I do think that it's kind of messed up. That Alabama gets in over a team like Miami. And there's a lot of reasons you can go into why, but this is one of the main reasons. And it's because being in the SEC, you had your chance to show us the best that you can be. Being in the ACC and having a loss to a team that was 9-3 at Syracuse and getting punished because their name is Syracuse is pretty fucked up. Like, and I hope through the weeks, even if someone else has to fall on the sword, which someone is, and it should be Alabama, like Miami shouldn't be the ones. And I talk my shit and I'll be like, where the fuck is Dale? Because he had such high hopes and now they're on the outside looking in. But really, real talk, like Arizona State, you're at the top of the Big 12. There's arguments that can be made for BYU. Now, I really don't think that there can be that many because I think that the Big 12 is one of those conferences that if you watched it, and a lot of us did because we're fans of Prime, and so a lot of us caught a little Colorado game. So you saw these different teams in the Big 12. If you didn't catch Arizona, good football team. If you didn't catch BYU, good football team. But I would not, if I was a committee member, this is where you do what you did to Alabama. This is where you draw that line and say, okay, now we know that you had a good season, BYU, but you got to be in the front of the Big 12 because obviously, like, even though people are going to be like, oh, we want our time, we want our time in the spotlight, but you're in the Big 12, and the Big 12 is not really popping like that, so we can't really do that for you. I think a team like SMU is interesting at number 3, and I talked a lot about them. I do think they're going to be pretty good. The Pony Show is back. As far as teams that I'm rooting for, since Oklahoma sucks this year, didn't do very well, it's probably going to be SMU. I'm going to root for them to go pretty far. I think Notre Dame's a scary team as well. I think it's and I want to get to that in a second because honestly, when you look at the path to the championship, if things shuffle in a certain way, Notre Dame's actually going to move to 5. And I think they will move to 5 because there's always some sort of Notre Dame clause. And if you look at where 5 would be, Notre Dame would only have to beat would have to beat the 12 seed and then would have to beat Boise, and then they wouldn't play anybody until possibly Ohio State, Tennessee, or Oregon. More than likely Oregon, because Oregon's about their life. And they play on grass. But yeah, so that's really that would be probably like my only beef is the Miami. I really, and I said this the other day, I really love the Ohio State Tennessee matchup. Now I think the Georgia Indiana matchup. Now I think that one. I think if anything, if you're going to put Alabama and Georgia into this tournament, y'all have to play the first round. We don't care where you play. It looks like it would be Georgia at this time, but you if we're gonna put y'all in, one of y'all gotta knock the other one out. We can't just have y'all at the top and the bottom of the bracket and then coming up with your best 3 games. And then people be like, look, they showed the world. Well, yeah, shit, they got so many fucking mulligans. How many chances do you need? Like if you were to tell every football team, yeah, you get 3 losses and we're gonna sneak you in, and then we're gonna let you play some teams that we know you should be able to beat. You know what I'm saying? Like, and especially in the case of Georgia, if I'm Texas, I'm kind of pissed at this juncture looking at it because I know people are talking shit about Texas and the SEC schedule, but nigga, that's what y'all wanted. Y'all wanted, and they went in there. Like, it's not their fault that Oklahoma sucked. It's not their fault that a bunch of teams underperform. And now that Michigan win's looking a little bit better. But if I'm Texas and I'm a number 2 seed, I'm literally looking at the panel, people saying, why the fuck do I got to play Georgia in the second game if they beat Indiana? You know what I'm saying? Which talent-wise and seeing what happened to Indiana versus Ohio State is very likely if this is the way it plays out. If I'm Texas, I want to play one of those teams. Fuck, what do I want to play one of those teams for? Why the fuck can't I get Boise? Why can't I get Penn State? You know what I'm saying? Like, why can't I get Arizona? You know what I'm saying? Why can't you fix it around to where those things, like, that's what when I'm looking at seeding, I would have a big problem with the fact that, all right, committee, as me, number 2 Texas, which I'm supposed to get a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? I'm number 2 seed. It's supposed to be an easier road for me. 1 seed, easier road for me. As the fucking 1 seed, you mean my easy road is I get to play Tennessee or Ohio State? What are we doing? Like what? Like these, and I know they're trying to set up special games, but you give me Penn State or Arizona State versus Boise State, and I promise you, bro, they're probably gonna wax the floor. I'm not gonna disrespect Boise like that, but I highly doubt that if Penn State, because I do think this is gonna be the rise of Penn State. If Penn State fuck around and get this 5 or 6 seed, because I do think Penn State can beat anybody except for Ohio State. So as long as they can stay away from Ohio State, then they're gonna be in pretty good shape. And if you give Penn State this road of Arizona State and Boise, they're going to look like a powerhouse. And again, as I sit back and look at Texas, why the fuck would you put me in this situation? I worked hard all this season. I only lost to Georgia. You know what I'm saying? Even though it was at home, even though we had people throwing shit on the field, but I only lost Georgia. And my reward, possibly I get a bye week and everything, but my reward, Georgia. What? Oh yeah, and by the way, who am I playing in the fucking BC? I mean, in the fucking SEC championship game? Oh, Georgia. Like, so the committee slick as fuck. Like, you don't like the way that they put these things together. It's like, okay, you're gonna try to kill Texas, but you're gonna try to keep Alabama alive. You know what I'm saying? If anything, they should make up some excuse and say, "Oh, well, Texas, you played against Georgia and you won, but you didn't look as good as we thought you would look. Move them down to number 3 and tell Notre Dame and Alabama your reward for winning is playing Texas." You know what I'm saying? Like, I just those types of things when the committee does those types of things. I hope that they're doing them just so they can hear the talk, just so they can make changes later. And I really don't think that someone stood up. Well, I do think that someone stood up in a room and said, "This is the best idea that we got." Because that's what stupid motherfuckers do. And then people be like, well, shit, I don't feel like thinking about it, so let's move on with this. That's why we have this stupid ass committee instead of a BCS tally thing that just spits out 12 teams and they just give us a bracket with the 12 teams ranked. We got some motherfuckers sitting in a fucking room saying, well, I think, well, you might as well get me and 12 of my motherfucking homies, and we'll sit in the room and tell you the 12 teams that should play in the fucking playoff, and we'll make that shit live. So that, to me, that's the main thing about the college football playoff. That's pretty much what I wanted to, get into, because I do agree with Cam Ward. But to Cam Ward, I do have to say this, which is the overlying thing when it comes to being mad about seedings. Win your fucking games. Shit. I can say a lot more, but win your fucking games. You win your games, you don't have to do it. But to put Alabama in there because of their name, sigil, and Nick Saban's not even the coach. Like, Nick's on fucking TV. He's doing Pat McAfee show. He's not even a fucking, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to act, but shit. Like, that's pretty fucking ridiculous to fucking put them in just because their name and their fan base, and like, you know that you're gonna get a lot of views because the motherfuckers in the backwoods ain't got shit else to do but watch Bama football. But shit, if that's what you want to fucking do, I guess. Shit. That's what they're gonna try to do. But I'm with Cam Ward on this one. But buddy, you got to win some games. But I do think, though, I really, really do think, though, like, when it all said and done, the football guys intervene whenever they need to, and they're gonna damn sure intervene on this one to make sure that teams that don't need to be in don't get in. Teams that, well, they did actually, because Oklahoma beat fucking Bama. But what do you know? What do you know? The committee strikes again. But that's about it for the college football playoff. I'm gonna go over it again when they release another one. The final, I think it'll be the final one. We're gonna go over that, talk a little bit about, you know what I'm saying, what we think is gonna happen at that point. Because once we get some matchups and we get that solidified, I think that's where we can get to a point of like really looking at, okay, who do you think is gonna win the national championship? How are they gonna get through this? Is their team gonna be healthy enough? Is their star player gonna, yada yada yada. All the great things that do come with watching college football at this time. Well, I would say at this time of year, but shit, now it's the first time we've ever seen it. Thank God. Thank God for college football. Rest in peace and sorry for my niggas that couldn't be here to see this. Now I will say this. I have another, let me see what else Boogie shout out here for me to holler at real quick. Okay, I already went. Okay, so was it Bryce Underwood? So yeah, so Bryce Underwood, he flips from LSU and he goes to Michigan. Now, reasons why, I mean, he can give us he can tell us whatever he wants to fucking tell us. I'm gonna always say money, but it could have been a bunch of. Honestly, I think NIL may have had something to do with it, but I'm not gonna put that on him like that. I do think, and the question that Boogie asked me is, do you think it's something, you know what I'm saying, that's a red flag or, bad things for Brian Kelly? And I'm gonna probably shock y'all by saying this, but no, I don't. I think Brian Kelly strikes me as like as a guy that's very hard to play for. I believe he asked you to be so disciplined. I think it is very, now it's not for everybody. I think I liken him to tough basketball coaches. Bob Huggins, Huggy Bear, guys that Coach K, Izzo, Like he's in that mold of like you're either going to become a star with him or he's gonna break you. And when you choosing your team you want to play for, if that's not your type of like psychological environment, don't go. And I think a lot of guys, you know what I'm saying? You all good, Sterls. You all good, Sterls. I think a lot of guys, when you're looking at that, some of them fail to make that decision. And I think Bryce's part, if that is one of the reasons why, I think he made a good decision for him. Now, as for Brian Kelly, I tell people this when I talk about LSU, LSU, but when I talk about LSU all the time, and it's that Brian Kelly's a guy, again, he's, I guess you could say, brash, surly, whatever. He's a very difficult guy to coach, like in the likeness of these tough basketball coaches, where, like I said, he's either going to break you or you're going to become a star. And so this is why I don't think that it's going to be a red flag or a damper on LSU. I think that he's going to end up getting somebody that's going to play for him. He's going to end up getting somebody that's going to want to be a star with that jersey on, and it's not going to be something that I think is going to be hard to do. Or I think, let me put it this way, it should not be hard to do. Now, I do think that when I look around and I see different cats at different schools, and I kind of wonder, like, what the fuck, like, how did you get there? And I see a team like an LSU where they have all these players, or like the Bama teams before they started recruiting high, high ranking quarterbacks, and they're high ranking, but not like, they, if Alabama, when they first started, they, the McElroys, and they just had a guy that wouldn't fuck it up. You know what I'm saying? Mac Joneses of the world, you know what I'm saying? Mac Jones put on, but like, you know what I'm saying? They just wouldn't fuck it up. Those type of game managers. They were, you know what I'm saying? I think that Brian Kelly, not to the point, you know what I'm saying? Not to the point where he's going to just be at that low of a level that I think, like, where we're just like, how can you get all these 5 stars and not get a fucking QB? That shit used to drive me crazy. It still does to this day, but I can kind of understand a little bit now. But I think Brian Kelly's going to end up getting a guy that may be a 3-star, maybe a 4-star. He's going to end up getting a guy that could be his leader, that can be his captain, that he can talk through, that can be his voice on the team. When he does that, his team's going to be good enough to go to the national championship. Like, if you notice the guys that he gets, he doesn't get choir boys. Like Brian Kelly's team, like if you notice, people are always like, man, he's always young as a player. Brian Kelly gets dogged. Like he goes in the mud and in the dirt and goes and fishes out the bestest of the bestest of the bestest of the bestest of the doggy crawfish. You know what I'm saying? And he gets them out and he gets them and he boils them, he throws them across the table and everybody has a good time. But sometimes, you know what I'm saying? You don't get a good haul, or sometimes it's bad, sometimes they don't agree. So I think that people need to give him, the opportunity, you know what I'm saying, to get another guy in there. As for Michigan, and when, you know what I'm saying, what concerns them, or that's great for them. If you watch Michigan this year, the fact that they beat Ohio State, they try very hard under Coach Moore, and so that's a good thing. They really needed a guy that could, you know what I'm saying, move the ball around, because when you watch them try to pass, it's just shit. Shit makes me to drink now. Watching Michigan go through a passing offense this year was fucking terrible. So for the fact of them to be able to get a 5-star quarterback, add him to the roster, he's going to make other recruits want to come to Michigan, if not if he has not already caused some to come. So I think is it a loss? Yes, but when it comes to recruiting, recruiting is like drafting. It's a little bit safer because you can go recruit like 3 or 4 quarterbacks, and you can be like, well, I one of these guys is gonna work because they were all like top 5 in their state. You know what I'm saying? So you can do things like that. So I'm not worried about LSU, and I do think it's a great pickup for Michigan. Now, if he goes to Michigan and it sucks, then that's a whole nother story. But I do think he'll have a good time out there, and I think that Brian Kelly is going to find his guy. As far as recruiting is concerned, if I jump to that real quick, I'm not going to go too far into the. Well, let's talk about 5-star quarterbacks. Jackson. So the school I like to root for, Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? It's wonderful that in the first year of the SEC, 3-year offensive lineman, all your receivers. I have never seen a team where every one of your receivers gets hurt. Whoever the fucking trainers are, I am not one to, to bash people, or I'm not one to say, like it's your fault. But to the trainers in the field, people that maintain the field, the grass, it's your fault. Like when all fucking 6-7 receivers get hurt, you know what I'm saying? Like that shit is unbelievable. But it did happen. All of them got hurt. As like I said, the line troubles. The defense actually was good. I know people will shit on like the scores and stuff, but if you watch the team play at the beginning of the games, when the game starts, defense played really well. It's kind of like when it got to be about middle of the second, third quarter, when they realized like, damn, like there's nothing we can do. We can go get a fumble, and these motherfuckers are gonna fumble. We can intercept the ball, they don't throw an interception. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong, did go wrong, has gone wrong. But to the point of Oklahoma, bad season on, blah, 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 blah. We got to talk about Jackson Arnold leaving. Like, I don't know, man. I'm not mad at the kid. As a fan, unfortunately, and you know this because every fan has a light and a dark side of the fan base, and there's a toxic side that doesn't really speak for the fan base, but speaks the loudest. And a lot of toxic talk was thrown his way. A lot of, you're a bum. A lot of, you not meant to be, Oklahoma. Just a lot of that. And all fans, but especially football fans, the ones on this toxic side have one problem with their passion. And they believe that if a person puts on a helmet, well, damn it, it's like putting on a piece of armor in a fucking game and you get a bunch of extra XP and you can fucking survive longer just because you have the 0 and the U on your helmet. Like that's not how the fucking shit works, bro. If you don't have the players, well, shit, yeah, if you don't have the paper, you ain't got the players. Now, of course, if you don't have the players, you can't perform. You can't win. And that's just what happened in Oklahoma this year. But to Jackson's point, if you're a 5-star quarterback to the level that he was, there's no reason for you to even risk it in the NIL. In the transfer portal era. There's you just spent a season at a team, and all these scouts that wanted you just saw like, oh my God, Oklahoma mishandled him. Like they benched him. Like he was put in this position where it's going to be very hard for him to win anyways. There was no stuff like blah, 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 blah. No start receivers, all these things, and then all of a sudden he becomes available. Second chance. Shout out Method Man Redman. So I think he should have left. Am I happy that he left? God no. And I said this to somebody in my gym. I said, we could talk about the record that Oklahoma has and how bad it was and all that type shit. The man beat Alabama with, how do I put this? No receivers, a bad offensive line that was banged up, so I don't disrespect them too much. A bad offensive line that was banged up, and a 4th-string running back, Xavier Robinson, who was a freshman, I believe. Looks like he's going to be supremely talented, but for the record. And he goes out there and he beats Bama. Defense plays great, but he does and if you watch the game, we ran the ball with him. You know what I'm saying? So he was running the ball. So grit, guts, all those things included. But yeah, I think it was just one of those things. He had to leave. He proved that he could tough it out now. And this is in an age where there's, this is not something that's like the most important to me. But it is something that I think, before I get to my next point, it is something that needs to be said. How do I put this, bro? You have much as a player in the transfer portal era. you have much of a right to try your best to succeed for yourself, as a team has a much of a right to try to make moves and do what they need to do. So I'm not like, again, I'm not gonna fault him. Um, but I am interested in seeing what he does next. Now, I do think that the reason why he left ultimately was the offensive coordinator's choice, the choice that they did have for offensive coordinator. Former coordinator for Washington State. Let me get his name real quick. Ben Arbuckle. Sorry for the delay. But yeah, so I like Ben Arbuckle, and suppose he's bringing the kid Matier, from Washington State with him. I don't know if he's going to beat out Hawkins for the job, but he might. Washington State tends to have a lot of players all the time, like some Cam Ward. We'll see if Matier comes to the squad, but if I'm Jackson Arnold and I just had this happen this season where it was as crazy and terrible as it was, and then I look up and the guy you get, Ben Arbuckle, you're like, okay, he's nice, but I know what's about to happen with the kid. I know it's about to happen. He has transfer portal too. I just told you, everybody got a right to be the best they can be. And so if your offensive coordinator goes to a bigger program with a better offensive, or supposed to be, they was hurting shit, but better receivers, better offensive line, and the kid Mater, you can correct me if I'm wrong out there, but what's his first name? John. Yeah, so if I'm him, I'm on to trying to get the first, on the first train, plane ride, bus ride, however I can get to Norman. I'm trying to get to Norman as fast as I can. I'm really trying to make that shit fucking happen. And so Jackson, to the team that gets him, he's probably gonna kill. I don't know where he's gonna go. I really hope this though, when he does leave to Jackson Arnold, don't go lesser. You know what I'm saying? Like, go to a prime time, big time program. Don't go from like. Now, I did say it'd be funny if he was at SMU, but no, but don't. But SMU is going to be prime time because they you don't know about the pony show. You're gonna be about to learn about the pony show. They're gonna spend their money. But I don't want to see him go to like UCF. If you know, you know. I don't want to see him go. You know what I'm saying, to like USF or a smaller school. Go big or go home. You know what I'm saying? You need to stay in the, honestly, if I'm honest with y'all, if I'm, what's that guy, what's his, John Franklin, if I'm Penn State, I'm calling him and saying, please come to our school, because every year we have running backs, we have a defense, we have skill position wide receivers, but our quarterback can never make that play. Please come to our school. And I would love to see him go to Penn State and see if he can make it high. Because if Jackson Arnold went to Penn State, then we have him going to Penn State and he gets a chance to compete against Ohio State, Michigan, and show what he's really about. And he's on the other side of he's on the upper side of the map. And so he doesn't really have to worry about, what I'm saying, dealing with the whole, you failed at Oklahoma, yada, yada, yada. But, he may want to play Texas. So they're very well, if I'm an SEC school, I'm thinking heavily about trying to get him. There's a couple of them. I think Ole Miss is losing Jackson Dart. That's a place, because I think Lane Kiffin's a guy that could drop some plays for him. I think that if Lincoln Riley's smart, which I don't think he's smart because he left Oklahoma to go. Well, we don't really want him now. Non-defense having ass nigga. But I wouldn't do that if I was him. But I would definitely look at. I would definitely, like, Penn State seems like it'd be a nice place. But I think he does. I think he does need to go Power 5. I like the Oklahoma's OC hire. And then let me hold up. Let me see something real quick. I want to out of bounds. Fucking Andrew Schultz. That's a fucking out of bounds. Yeah, if you went out of bounds, I didn't give y'all out of bounds. If you went out of bounds, Andrew Schultz, yeah, you're, oh my God. Okay, so what's hilarious to me I'm just gonna go off on a tangent real quick because the next thing I'm gonna talk about is probably all hell Josh Allen, and I'm probably gonna end up getting the fuck out of here in a little bit. Okay, so this is you said what you said on your mixtape album, whatever, because it's an album when you look at it, but then it's a mixtape when people talk about it. Anyways, but you say that he can't make jokes, whatever. One thing that you don't want to do is come at a comedian and a jokester, someone that sits around and makes jokes all day, and someone that just is like a funny person. Like, do not ever in your life come at them, bro. Like, because everything you say, it doesn't really matter because in their brain they've already Eminem themselves off of 8 Mile. Like, it's already been done. Like, everything bad. Like, I'm one of those people. Like, everything you can all of it's there. You still look the way you do when you look in the mirror, and deep down inside you're fucking sad about it. You know what I'm saying? So like things of this thing can be said. Like, and so like with Andrew, like you said what you said, and you acted tough, but the man, it's diabolical. And me personally, if Kenny has nothing to do with it, my God, get the fuck on board. Like, talk back, like do something, because the amount of hilarious nature, whatever the fuck you want to call it, to tell somebody that I would make love to you in prison and there was nothing that you can do about it except for choose the position. Not only is that very gay, very Andrew, pause, all that, but oh my God, it's fucking hilarious because you're talking to a guy, or talking about a guy that, portrays, what I'm saying, what he portrays, and also supposedly what happened to him. So that's fucking crazy. So Andrew Schultz, you're fucking out of bounds, but you're kind of inbounds. It's kind of like that, like soccer out of bounds, where it's kind of out of bounds, but if you can get to it before it hits the ground, you can knock that bitch back in. And then also, to those of y'all that are mad, you know what I'm saying, about like Andrew and what he said. I mean, shit, you like when people get called pedos and they're not pedos, so shit. Nigga, you get fucked in prison. When Andrew Schultz as the guy, that motherfucker said, once we get through doing prison shit, you know what I'm saying, cleaning, playing cards, reading shit in the bunk beds, well, hey, I might as well fuck this guy. Oh shit! I'm not gonna lie. If you said at the lunchroom table, if you said in like a cafeteria, said a tray getting thrown, a nigga, so he popping up. But he led with, though, the most diabolical thing about it all is he led with like, your whole crew, all the gangbangers you hang with would kill me, but you're a Skittle. Ooh, piece of candy. Like, like, oh, that's diabolical, man. Don't fuck with the funny guys, because there's always a fucking joke. There's always a joke. Congratulations to my little cuz, though. My little cuz, by the way, you see my TV's off. My little cuz vanquished my homie in the game. Tennessee won. I want to say this though to him, though. If he's watching, you stole my motherfucking play. That tight end RPO was my shit, and I saw you run it like 3-4 times. So damn, little cuz is always gonna little cuz. But yeah, so Andrew, you out of bounds. I do want to see what comes out of this, just as far as just what's gonna make me laugh out of it. But that's my out of bounds for today. Let's get on to some NFL real quick. Really, I was gonna say on this, I guess, typed up. I won't say piece of paper. On this typed up thing we have, it does say, all hell Josh Allen. I am not. If you want all the information, then you need to watch the Chop Up, and you need to watch everything Sterling does with the Buffalo Bills. If you want the in-depth information, you need to watch that. I'm just here to say, damn, I fuck with Lamar Jackson hard too. And I'm not here to make them have a battle back and forth, but Josh Allen MVP, bro. I'm sorry. When you know how you have Heisman moments, and it doesn't even have to be like winning again. Okay, so there's the Heisman moment, but there's multiple moments during the season where you're like, this motherfucker got this. And last week was one of the moments it was like, this motherfucker. Because to give the ball up to Amari Cooper and then get that bitch back and then take it and just go schoolyard, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting to the zone. That's pretty fucking amazing. He really is white Cam Newton. really is white Cam Newton. And if you had a chance to watch Cam Newton, like you'd be like, those I mean, I know someone's gonna gurgle and he can't throw, he can throw better. No, as far as like ferocity, willingness to run, at your neckness, get the fuck out my way. If you're not riding with us, then you're not with us. If you put your fucking chin strap on, because we're playing football today, I'm not dealing with it. I'm a quarterback, but fuck all that other shit. We playing football. Josh Allen is fucking him. I'm mad I don't have my shirt on, but if you go to sportsplugclothingco.com, sportsplugclothingco.com, you look for the him tee. He's him. It's a little sticker. It says, hello, my name is him. Nigga, and Josh Allen. Because the motherfucker right there is truly fucking ridiculous at football. And I do think that at some point, what you gonna do? Give Lamar Jackson 3 of them bitches? What's at some point you give him another one, nigga? He needs to go for a ring. Like at some point, you know what I'm saying? You have other things you need to do. Josh, you don't have any of the hardware. You are balling your ass off. You got rid of Stephon Diggs. Was he the one fucking Lizzo? That nigga be lurching. Anyways, you don't have any of the hardware. You're balling out. Your team's looking very, very nice. And you're doing it with, you know what I'm saying, whatever they hand you. And Sean McDermott, shout out to you too. Shout out to you too. Shout out to the Buffalo Bills. But all in all, I will say all hail Josh Allen. I'm not finna sit here and say that anybody in the NFL right now deserves the MVP over him. I'm not gonna fucking do it unless you ask me about Saquon Barkley. And then I'm gonna tell you this. Although I think that Saquon Barkley and Henry and Jacobs are bringing the running back because the running back never left. Y'all niggas were just stupid. I still think if you look at like what we saw Josh Allen have, what we saw them get rid of, what we see Cook doing, what we see the line doing, what we see the defense, how they're playing. This team is led by one man, and it's the 1-7. And he's doing his motherfucking thing. So I gotta say that's my all hail Josh Allen. I probably need to have an all hail, you know what I'm saying? Like, because it could either be two ways. He'd be like, all hail Josh Allen. Oh, all hail Russell Wilson. Oh, let's talk about that. You know what? I'm gonna link it to Sierra every time. Because at the end of the day, guess what, niggas? He's doing all this and he gets to go home and bang Sierra. That's why they mad. And you can't change my motherfucking mind. They don't want to believe it, but they got to believe it. You try to make us believe that 26 TDs and 8 motherfucking interception was bad football play last year for the Broncos. Just say Sean Payton wasn't on that. That's cool. Because he's doing his thing. Bo Nix is out there doing it. So it's very cool. Sean Payton, but no. What we're not gonna do is have this media thing go around. We're trying to shit on players and tell you they're not as good as they are because a certain team don't want them. That's not what we're gonna do out here. We're gonna end it. We've got to end that shit. I remember watching so many times on various platforms get up, like people like Kimberly Martin, talking about, his stats inflated. His stats he really wasn't doing them against good teams. And no, you can put it up and say, like, he really wasn't doing this against good teams. Y'all call Dak Prescott a good quarterback, and this motherfucker can only beat bums. So which way is it gonna be? We'll get at it in a second. But no disrespect for you, Dak, but it kind of is the case. But you know what I'm saying? Like, so what is it gonna be? Like, Dak can be touted as a quarterback that's worth all this money, which I do think he is. And like I said, we're gonna get in a minute. And then Russell Wilson gets shit on. Man, do you see Pickens? Russell Wilson is so motherfucking cold that George Pickens cannot keep his fucking head on straight. Every time he get loose, fucking Rusty find that nigga, and that nigga doing shit like punting the ball into the end zone, snarling, yelling, talking shit to niggas. Like, he's, again, go back to when Sports Sushi just started. And if you didn't know, well, nigga, ask somebody I know. I was trying to tell y'all about that nigga Pickens. He's a motherfucking maniac. That nigga really remind me a lot of like a more athletic, maybe not more athletic, but the crazy factor of that motherfucker, he's on some Michael Irvin shit. He don't play like he faster. I'm not gonna get him to play like him all that. The craziness. Pickens can catch a 5-yard pass and your fucking grandma gonna know about it. Fuck that bitch. First slalom, whatever celebration I can do, we hitting that hoe. Like he's doing everything. Like I love it though. I don't think the NFL should do anything to stop him. I was mad. I don't like. Nah, let him punt the ball. Punt that bitch. Let them know I'm here, nigga. Do the most absurd shit that you can think of when you can think of it. But bottom line, Mike Tomlin might be the best coach ever behind Bill Belichick. And I don't give a fuck about the rings and all the shit you talk about. He told us 3 or 4 years ago, nameless great faces. And I told y'all niggas, y'all thought he was talking about the other team because he talking about everybody. And if you play football, you are a nameless gray face, nigga. Go to your job. Like, he does not give a fuck. He slide, put him in. And except for Russell Wilson. Because there's one thing that he's learned through his time. And that's that you cannot just come up on a quarterback. Like, good quarterbacks are hard to come up on. They're hard to find. And Mike Tomlin has learned that, but he got one. And what do? I'm going to put him in when he's healthy. Notice the genius of this man. Everybody's talking. Everybody. He's sitting back like, nah, man. I got my quarterback. Paid him. Y'all heard me tell other quarterbacks, man, I'll never lose enough to get a quarterback like you. Why the fuck y'all think he wasn't finna put Russell Wilson in the game? Why the fuck y'all think the rainbow god wasn't finna come out here and drop these moon bitches on you bitches? Throwing them goodies from the motherfucking pocket. Oh, y'all bitch ass. I am, yes, and Russ deserves his motherfucking moment. So I am going to give it to him because you know what? The thing I hate is when the media and hating ass niggas and people that don't like the fact that you got one of the baddest bitches to ever walk across this earth and you can throw a ball 60 yards on a fucking dot in a basket, they be hating. So when you losing, they be on top of this shit. Oh, Russ can't play. Look at his commercial to Subway, his spicy sandwiches, da-da-da-da. But when you winning and when you up and they got to change the tune, all you get is a good job. Nigga, father, fuck you. Like, what's it say on the bottle? Sucker, motherfucker. Like, that's what Russell Wilson saying right now, because all you niggas was looking like, what his name? Lester. All y'all niggas was Lester, the court jester. All of you. And you know what they said? Russell Wilson was like that, like this bitch that lived with her. Lester, shut the fuck up. Russ looked back. Dime to Pickens. Dime to Fryermuth. Dime to whoever the fuck is out there, because I'm Russell Wilson. Y'all motherfuckers must have forgot. Yeah, I tried to throw that bitch and should have headed it off to Marshawn Lynch, but Marshawn looked me in the eye and said, shit, nigga, they called to play for you. Shit, you running. So I think everybody that thought that Rusty Wilson was done, everybody that thought that Rusty Wilson wasn't going to get it done, y'all niggas need to get on the internet and start talking about how cold this motherfucker is, because Jesus Christ, y'all didn't even think Pickens was like that. Y'all thought he was like that, but y'all didn't think he was like that. Y'all saw practice photos. Now the shit's in game. Pittsburgh Steelers could win a Super Bowl. Laugh if you want to. There ain't nothing more dangerous than a hungry AFC North team that ain't got nothing to lose. No, they already play dirty. And I'm not talking about dirty like they bad team. I'm just talking about they like to get it out the mud. Like scoring 30 points. When the Steelers start scoring 30 points, nigga, be afraid. Nigga, be afraid. Them niggas want Mike Tomlin wants to win 13-12, 13-10, 14-7. If they putting up 30, nigga, that nigga shooting hot dice. He done hit 7 already 3-4 times. Now he in that bitch just talking shit because he know he gonna hit his point. I don't give a fuck if they roll on a 6, nigga. I'm gonna hit that bitch with 1 or 2 rolls. And if you think I'm playing, I'm gonna get you to say, give me these 2 times. On the come out, nigga. Okay. So that's my praise for Rusty Wilson. He gets it. He deserves it. Who else? I'm not gonna go through the list. I'm not gonna go through the list of a bunch of players. Like he deserved it. But I had to give it to Rusty. I want to get into real quick before I dip. What else? Let me see what else I have real quick before I get into this, because this is gonna be probably where I close it out, because it's something that's like real quick and I can get to it and then get out and do it. But, I ain't finna play no playoff. Oh, okay. So before I get into the DAC of it all. Let's talk about Al. I'm not even gonna do it, and y'all know what I'm not. If you know, you know. We just gonna call him Al and leave it at that. Al and Trevor. Do I have a picture of it? If this is some people that have their shit, take whatever. You know what? Hey, to the picture to be brought to you by Opta Analysis. Yeah, niggas, I shout you out. So if you don't know, let me see. Let me put myself. Phew. Okay, there we go. That is the moment when Trevor Lawrence saw death, and his name is Al Shire. Now, if you can see in his eyes, Trevor's actually looking, and that look, we've seen that look. We might have, if unfortunately you might have made that look. But that look right there, that right there is the man saying why. Trevor's like, he's still going full speed. The look right there is Trevor saying he's still going. Why is he going full speed? And that's one of those situations where, like in real life, if you've ever been seriously injured or if you've ever been hurt for real, there's like a split second before it happens where you're just like, but you're in it, but you're like, oh man, like, and it feels like a lifetime. It feels like an anime where it's like, oh, what have I done? I came out the pocket. They're supposed to protect me. But how can you protect me when he's not going to stop? He's not going to stop. Bam! Ran his bitch ass over. And sent that nigga into a fucking. And I know, okay, it's not funny, but he's okay now. But it's football. And I'm from the early 2000s. I'm from when you turned on TV Sunday night and you had a nigga named Boomer talk about some, you got jacked up. So that's a part of the game. So yeah, he hit Trevor. And was it a dirty hit? Yes. Let me get that out of the way. Was it a dirty hit? Yes. You know what I'm saying? Love ninjas. You know what I'm saying? So should it have been done? No. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it happened. And I had to get that photo because I had to let y'all see the look in his eyes. Because Trevor Lawrence is really looking like, why did not stop me? Like this is like if he was like in some sort of movie and they was acting. He's like, nigga, you playing for real. You're not supposed to really punch for real. But yeah, he clobbered his bitch ass. He sent that nigga to the medic. God, if you didn't see the hit, I don't have it, and I don't even think I could play it if I wanted to. It'd probably get me striked or whatever. And I'm about to take the picture off because I don't want these motherfuckers being like, yo, you showed the picture too much. But yeah, so like Trevor got fucked up, and it was a horrible hit. I heard or I read or people are saying and things are said about like quarterbacks kind of abused their right. I think it might have been the coach. Or was it him himself? It was either Al or is it a D'Amico, where they were just talking about like, you know, players, you know what I'm saying, or quarterbacks like abuse that ability. You know what I'm saying? That they get protected and like sometimes they'll fake slide. I think in certain situations you can see it. If you see a guy and it's not something that I don't think a lot of, okay, so if you're playing against, you know, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen doesn't avoid contact. So if you're playing against like Lamar Jackson or you're playing against Kyler Murray, I can kind of see where you're worried about a fake slide, but my nigga, if I'm fake sliding, I'm still giving myself up because I still got to hit you with the or the fake and at that point, push me down. At that point, put a hand out and push me down. You know what I'm saying? Leading with the helmet and giving me a face mask kiss, nah, cuz you like 100 times out of 100, you're gonna knock me the fuck out. I forget the quarterback. He was a quarterback for the Rams that got his spot took by Kurt Warner. But I remember he was in Kansas City and he rolled out the pocket. Yeah, man. Broke in motherfucking half. And I look to Trevor Lawrence's side. And I want all offensive players to remember this because they have all these offensive rules and they have all these changes. And defenders are still paid to come fuck you up, bro. but like I think that gets lost in football nowadays. It's like defenders in basketball are just supposed to defend. They get physical in soccer too, but in soccer they're supposed to defend. They get physical though. Defenders in football are supposed to defend and fuck you up. Like that's their job. It's like I'm going to defend, and if you catch the ball, I'm going to make you wish you didn't have the ball. Like, and so I really don't want to see them take that out of the game. But I do think that Al needs to look in the mirror and say, okay, bro, yeah, like I fucked him up, bro. Like I shouldn't have done that. I sent that nigga to the stars. He had the little birds. He had to leave. He did have a concussion. If you didn't know he had a concussion, what the fuck planet are you living on? The motherfucker hit the ha ah 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 like the slow whine, nigga. Like so, anytime someone gets hit and they do the tour, ah ah ah. And then when the nigga turned into that nigga Bernie Mac was talking about, ah, ah, leave me alone, nigga. And nigga turned into that nigga, hey, dog, you doing some damage. Fucked up hit. Now, to his response, though, because, like, okay, so I'm a firm believer. If you haven't ever heard me talk before, if you don't know me, if you know me, then you know I'm a very, very, very firm believer in, like, there's two roads and two things can be right. So, as a defender on the opposite side, as should have got your bitch ass down. And as Al, I can hey, you know what I'm paid to do. You know what I'm paid to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you know a nigga paid to shoot, you gonna stay inside when he come outside. You know what I'm saying? So Trevor, you should have got rid of that ball. And you gotta go for the first down. And see that's the thing about football. You know what I'm saying? Like, and for people that just love football, even if you haven't played, people that love football, know football, was around football before football turned into 7-on-7, was a little bit of hitting. Because they're really trying to turn football into sideline tackle on the cool, y'all. If you know, you know. Like, so like a sideline kill, either way. But like they're really trying to turn it into that shit. But it's like, bro, like that's the essence of the game. It's like that's why football is football. Like, bro, I'm on the offensive side of the ball. I have to get it past you. I'm on the defensive side of the ball. I have to stop you. And most of the time, the best way to stop you is to stop you, nigga. So I'm going to hit you as hard as I can. Every time I hit you, I'm going to try to make you feel it every time I hit you. And that's the conflict. That's what makes the game great. Because ever so often, when a great defense plays a bad offense and vice versa, you see a splattering of like good plays for either side and a domination. But when you get a team with a good defense, a team with a good offense versus a team, you get a slobber knocker. And you get guys like, I'm gonna hit you, and then the guy gets up because he's a fucking psycho. Because to play offense in primetime football, you got to be fucking psycho because you're signing up to let grown men hit you at full speed and get up and mock them for it. Like if you break it down to simple, football offense, what is it? I am going to catch a ball and let someone that is possibly bigger and faster than me, and if they're not bigger than me, then they probably lift a lot of weights. They might be stronger. They're going to attack me basically and try to get me to the ground in any way possible. And guess what I'm going to do if they can't do it? I'm going to get up and I'm going to scream at them and I'm going to do shit like this. First down. Or I'm going to hit him with the first down marker. I'm going to do some shit or hit him nigga with the gritty or some crazy shit like that. Like, you know, do shark moves with your head and some crazy shit. So like, to be an offensive player, you have to be 100% crazy. To play defense, you got to just want to be an athlete and want to play the game. Like people always think the defenders are the insane ones. No. Offensive players are the niggas with the fucking screw loose. Oh, you want to catch that bitch across the middle? There's a guy that weighs about 220 that's trying to fucking tear your head off. That's cool. I lift. I weigh 210 and I run a 4.4. I can get away. How crazy is that? My nigga, how crazy is that? But anyways, they go off on a tangent. That's what football is, though, and I don't think they should take the essence away. I don't think that they should make us miss seeing the game that we love, and above all else, and I'll say this: niggas like me shouldn't be playing football. And when you have skinny, tall, even if you're like like you run stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm fit, you know what I'm saying? But like, no, nigga. football is the last. Not let me say this properly, because it is fighting in martial arts, fighting sports aside, because that's what that is. But football is the last remaining true gladiator sport like that we had, because they're changing it where you watched it kind of like how you watch race car drivers and you watch that type of shit. You watch it because the car crash is going to send you. The car crash is going to make you say, holy shit. But you don't want the car crash, but it's a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want, I'll say, compare the car crash to the injury, because football is a car crash. So the injury is a part of it, but you're like, whoa, like that could happen. These two guys could collide. This shit could go bad. And you wanna embrace it. You know what I'm saying? You want to see it. You want to watch it. It compels you. Like, knowing that Ray Lewis was gonna break a motherfucker's back if he fucked up made you want to watch him play. I mean, just as watching a guy like Randy Moss, and he is so fucking fast that he's just running away from the guys. But part of this is, if he doesn't run away from them, they're gonna break him in half. So to that, I think this injury is just a football injury. Do I think that Al Shazier, or however you pronounce it, do I think, and sorry, I'm not trying to disrespect you, but if I can't pronounce it, I can't pronounce it. I ain't finna go through Hooked on Phonics to try to get that shit, my nigga. My bad, Al. I do think that, like, for him, like, he's got to play football. Now, for him to come out and say, I'll be the villain, I think that's what he has to do, because what are you going to do? Say, I'm sorry, my nigga? It's football. I'm paid to go fuck you up. Like, that's what I'm paid to do. So I think both sides have a point. You know what I'm saying? There's a point to Trevor Lawrence to be like, why you fuck me up like that when you know I was going to slide? But as far as, you know what I'm saying, Big Al's concerned, hey, bro, you had an opportunity to get down. You wanted them yards. My job is to do what? Stop you from getting them hoes. Bush League, kinda, but it's football. You got to be prepared so that you don't get fucked up. That's just how it is. Let me see something real quick. 1 second. You see, like, the grand big hating, they be cutting the nigga off. So, since people to get to have me, because I'm gonna finish not the sports sushi page, nigga. All right. Let me see. Let me send that, and they can have a good day. This live video. We are off of Instagram. Sorry for you if you're watching on that bitch. Better get on YouTube. Last but not least, because I need to get off. Oh, so much time. Okay, so as I always say, and I'm one to say this because as a Cowboys fan, I say it and people think I'm like, oh man, but all you got to do is include some Dallas Cowboys talk in your pod, in your sports radio. If you're doing anything that has to do with football, if you have anything that has to do with sports, that is football. Anyways, include Dallas Cowboys. Good, bad, and different when you want to talk shit. So at this point, there was something interesting that happened today, and it's kind of like a how to put this. I want to say it's kind of like a revelation, because if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, bro, it hurts, but it is what it is. One thing you have been seeing is the realization that the problem is a certain old motherfucker that owns the team and his son. Slowly, people are starting to get it. Fucking slowly. What's wrong with them? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why can't you just see the fact that this, like, 30, 40 years of the same fucking bullshit, and yet you want to blame quarterbacks and running backs and wide receivers and people that play certain positions? Why the fuck can't you see what the problem is? Which is the most maddening thing about being a Dallas Cowboys fan, is knowing what the problem is, seeing what the problem is, experiencing the problem, and knowing that there's not a fucking thing that can be done about it or that is going to be done about it. Because Jerry Jones is the problem with the Cowboys. And a lot of people have known for a while and even me for a while, you blind yourself to it, and you're like, at some point, players play, and you're not. And let me tell you, because I've done that before. You're not doing that because you really believe that. You're doing that because having a person like Jerry Jones be the fuck up of your organization and be the GM and the owner of it means that you're just fucked. Like there's nothing that you can do until he gets rid of the team or takes the long ride home. And even if one of those happen, is he going to put his son in charge? So that's the realization that you have and that you get, and that's why it's just like, damn, like what the fuck we gonna do? Let me look that up. It's just gone. So and that's just the sad truth about being a Cowboys fan, bro. Like a lot of what we want is not going to happen because we have a big roadblock in place, but the roadblock is also the person that owns the team. What would you have us do? That's just what it is. But my point of today is the fact that Dak Prescott, you know what I'm saying, he gave and I'm gonna paraphrase this because I'm not gonna go like word for word deep into this shit and try to figure out all in the weeds like a Kendrick verse. I ain't got time for that, neither y'all. And I know y'all got shit to do, so do I. Sleep? No, but Dak Prescott basically said, I'd give Mike McCarthy another chance. Why would you give Mike McCarthy another chance? Because I want to see what would happen if he had a chance to really, take control of his team. If he really had a chance to, get the players he wanted on the team. And I see a lot of Cowboys fans that say shit like, well, they had a chance. Nigga, shut the fuck up. All the Cowboys fans that like have something to say that are like, oh man, the players, shut up. Like, we're tired of y'all. Like, you motherfuckers are the problem. Y'all will do nothing to say fuck Jerry Jones. It's always a player. It's always he's on a podcast or he has a show or he has too much money. Shut your jealous ass up. Go over there, nigga. Like, we don't want to fuck with you. The people that are saying Jerry Jones, you the problem, and we need you to step aside before you die, nigga, because we ain't got to wait for it. That's for your family to do. They got to love you, cherish you, wait for that shit, and then help you through that time. You know what I'm saying? Till you gone. But as far as the fans, we want to win fucking football games, cuz. The fuck we doing out here? And then Mike McCarthy wins 12 games in a row. Yeah, you choking the big game. But what the fuck? Bro, Derrick Henry is fucking killing right now. Saquon Barkley is fucking killing right now. You have an opportunity to sign these people. You have an opportunity to sign your players before it becomes too much. Jerry Jones did the classic. I'm going to throw him under the bus, and he's trying to make it look like that he did what he could. Nigga, this team is ball sacks. Like, this team is not good in terms of trying to win something serious. Do we have some good players? Yes. But be fucking honest with yourselves. If you want to sit back and keep blaming players, shut the fuck up, bro. Like, the smartest thing for Dallas Cowboys fans to do overall, for all of them, focus all your energy on the Joneses. Don't try and keep up with them motherfuckers. Shit on them motherfuckers. You want to focus all your energy into saying, hey, Jerry, Steven, whoever else got the name Jones, shit, my nigga, keep up, nigga, get off the Cowboys. Your last name is Jones, we don't want you on the Cowboys. Go do something else. Shout out to my nigga Jones. But yeah, like just off the team, bro. Like, all this other shit don't fucking matter. All this cloud, we do it. Shut up. It's the fucking owner and the fucking GM and his son. They said about 7-8 years ago they wanted to try to be the Patriots. Where are the Patriots now? You know what the Patriots had? Tom Brady. You have Dak fucking Prescott. And that's not a slight to Dak Prescott, but even Dak Prescott would tell you, nigga, you got me. Don't put me out there with a bunch of niggas I don't even know the name of. Go get me weapons. Get me some people that can ball out. Like, don't go out here and tell me that I'm fucking, hey, Jerry Jones is the king of pissing and telling you that it's just rain. Pissing in the wind, it's just rain. No, nigga, it's pee. It's urine. You're peeing on us. You're giving us nothing in return. Carisha got $1 million. Like, just pissing on us. We ain't getting shit for it. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think that's the main problem. I think Dak stood up yesterday, whenever he said he wants to see his coach be able to control his team and have his team out there, with someone or have his coach be able to actually control and build his team. I think that means a lot, and I think it is a I think it's a big beacon of saying, Jerry, step the fuck back. Like, please. Like, please, like, think about this before I go, y'all. It is more important for Jerry Jones to be in the front of the line than it is for him to win before he die. If he step aside and just let somebody else run the team, get the players, and he step aside, he will have a winner. People want to play for this team. They don't want to play for you, my nigga. Like, I forget the movie. It was about some pimps. It was about some pimps that had Richard Pryor in it. I forget the movie, but I remember the one of the main characters was like ended up being in a situation where he had to meet up with one of the main pimps at the top. And he was like, yada yada yada, blah 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 blah. And the main point of the whole thing is, and I talked a lot, but the main point is, he looked at him and he said, "You know what? Nobody really likes you. I don't really like you." And that's what we saying to Jerry Jones right now. And Steven, my nigga, nobody really likes you. Nigga, I don't even like you. The season ticket holders don't like you. The fans don't like you. The fucking players don't like you. That nigga that wears the fucking cowboy hat and dances around looking like little cowboy, he don't like you. The Cowboys cheerleaders don't like you. Like, we love the Cowboys, but fuck you, Mr. Jones and Little Jones, Mr. Steven. Like, we don't fuck with y'all. And if y'all would please do us a motherfucking favor and pay somebody else to get players, run the team, do that shit, and then go on about your motherfucking business, and y'all could go be great, go get a lot of motherfucking money, do whatever the fuck else you want to do. We're not really tripping. Like, you could do that, but could you please, in all honesty, walk the fuck out the room? Your quarterback just said today, I fuck with a bunch of words, I fuck with the Cowboys, but I ain't fucking with the owners and what they building. And with that being said, my nigga, please get the fuck out of Dodge. Let somebody else do that shit and run the team and win a couple Super Bowls for you, Crow, because you're going to take that road, that long walk down the road. And when you take that long walk down the road, you're going to be like, what did I do wrong? All of this. The Cowboys, nigga, when you see Jesus going to look at you and say, nigga, I set you up to win fucking 12 Super Bowls. You fired Jimmy. You wouldn't ever let nobody else come in. What the fuck? I gave you the goal, play the road, and you didn't take it. Why? Ego. Lesson for the day, kids, before I let you go. Ego the devil. And the pride comes before the fall. And this is the Hesi.
तेरी यादों का तेरी याद में निहा 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 तेरी याद